And hit it.
And now, from a secret location outside of Hooker, Oklahoma, nestled in our DEFCON 1 priority bunker, safely ensconced hundreds of feet below the fruited plains where America grows her amber waves. Articulating profundities with humor and perspicacity seldom heard between these purple mountains' majesty, it's the Jay Thomas Show, with your humble host, Jay Thomas.
That's me, the humblest. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go right into the crazy. Hit it.
And everyone else who supported him, you wrote speeches for him, I campaigned for him. I mean, we're implicated in this for sure.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
It's not enough to say, well, I changed my mind.
Although he does all the time. Oh, and almost everything. We'll get back to that. Tucker Carlson and his brother Buckley, who was just fired from J.D. Vance's team. Tucker drags him on his show. Listen to what he says.
Or like, oh, this is bad, I'm out. It's like,
That's not what
in
he's saying.
very small ways, but in real ways, you and me and millions of people like us are the reason this is happening right now.
Yes.
This meaning the Iran campaign. Just keep that in mind.
So I do think it's like a moment to wrestle with our own consciences. We'll be tormented by it for a long time. I will be. And I want to say I'm sorry for misleading people. It was not intentional. That's all I'll say. But anyway, the
Listen
question does present itself immediately, like, what is this? Was this always the plan? You don't want to be a conspiracy nut, but like...
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be a conspiracy nut. No. Hold on. Okay, so Tucker thinks that Trump has changed and that Israel has pressured him to change his mind on Iran. Okay? I'm going to take you back. Let's get into the Wayback Machine with Poindexter, or Peabody, I'm sorry. And let's listen to a 34-year-old Donald Trump. That's 50-some years ago, right? Almost 50 years ago. Somewhere in 1980. He's being interviewed by Rona Barrett, who used to do these interviews of up-and-coming people. Trump was one of them. He was the millionaire. He was the upstart millionaire from New York who solved the skating rink problem, built the skyline. He was doing all sorts of great things. You know, he was the new millionaire. You remember when a millionaire met something? It wasn't just your neighbor. A millionaire was huge back then. A millionaire, holy crap, he has $1 million? That's so quaint right now. Really? All right, let's listen to Donald Trump on Iran, specifically Iran, and the taking of hostages, interviewed by Rona Barrett. Hit it.
The point that they hold our hostages is just absolutely and totally ridiculous. That this country sits back and allows a country such as Iran to hold our hostages, to my way of thinking, is a horror. And I don't think they'd do it with other countries. I honestly don't think they'd do it with other countries.
Obviously, you're advocating that we should have gone in there with troops, etc., and brought our boys out.
I absolutely feel that, yes. I don't think there's any question, there's no question in my mind.
So, back in 1980, being interviewed by Rona Barrett, Trump is saying that we should have went into Iran and taken Iran. And he goes on to say that we would be an oil-rich nation. We'd have so much oil. It'd be so cheap. We could take Iran's oil, put it back into the international marketplace. And this is 1980. Now let's take a look at what, on his views, since then, 1980 and 2015, numerous times Trump criticized the U.S. response to the 79 crisis as weak. The hostage crisis, he argued that the U.S. should have used military force to rescue it. Now we tried to, and how'd that work out? Because we were so underfunded in the Pentagon. Now this was many times between 1980 and 2015. He said many times, I remember him, that Iran needs to be brought to heel. That they're screaming death to America is over the top, and they needed to stop. And no one did anything about it. Not George W. Bush, not Clinton, not H.W. Bush, not Reagan. Really? Obama gave them money. Obama gave terrorists billions of dollars, almost $2 billion. Flew it in there on pallets of cash. So now in 2011 to 2015, long before his first presidency, Trump frequently claimed that President Obama would start a war with Iran. He would, because Obama was losing. Oh, the good old days, huh? The good old days of who was running against him? Oh, yeah, that's right, Mitt Romney. And Mitt Romney was actually right. Remember, Mitt Romney said Russia is our greatest threat, and he said the 1980s are calling. They want their foreign policy back. You know, that was all yucked up. All the Democrats thought that was a great line. Remember that? And now what are they doing? So his first term comes along, and he's criticized the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. That's what it was called. It was the JCPOA that Obama gave us, which was basically the Joint Comprehensive Plan of giving Iran nuclear weapons. They couldn't have nuclear weapons until like 2030. Woo! That's like right around the corner. And he called it a disaster. And in 2017, he withdrew. And he said it was ineffective, which it was. Then he had a maximum pressure campaign. He put severe economic sanctions on Iran, and he tried to get them to negotiate more. And then in 2020, what did he do? He killed General Qasem Soleimani, whatever his name was, the Quds Force. Remember, they found his finger with his ring still on it. Over there, he tried to park in the white zone. He tried to park in the white zone in the airport, and there are severe penalties for parking in the white zone of the airport. And that's what they did. He was being dropped off, and they nailed him, trying to get his suitcase out of the trunk. Anyway, then now present, 25 to present, he was in indirect negotiations with Oman and in Oman and Italy with Iran. Before any of this happened, he was trying to get them to negotiate about their nuclear dust. Let's put it like that. Their yellow cake. And that failed miserably because they just were lying. So Trump sent in the first wave was Midnight Hammer. And we nuked them remember we buried their dust in the dust. And guess who supported that, apparently? Joe Kent. Joe Kent supported the first Iran bombing and our little venture into our 2-hour venture into Venezuela. So he must have thought those were great. Now that we're bombing the crap out of him, he's now all of a sudden like, oh no, I can't support that. So now we've lost some troops. God bless, and we never want to lose troops, but that happens. And we have lost, a plane or two, but we have sunk their entire navy, except the little quick boats. They now have a chair force. They don't have an air force. They have people, flying around like this. I saw one where a guy was in one of those those things that fly with the fan in the back. Those. That's their Air Force now. And he is basically taken out their leadership. And all done without boots on the ground, Mr. Kent. There were no boots on the ground, Mr. Tucker Carlson. But that is Trump being consistent for 50 years. 47 years. He's been consistent. Who hasn't been consistent? Well, let's take a look. Hold on. Okay, this is from the Undercurrent on X, and it's at Not Their Script. If you want to look this up, she does a very good job at this, and it's very short. I'll read it. Now, who's been consistent? Well, let's take a look at this. Tucker Carlson has spent his entire career saying one thing privately and another publicly. He privately called Trump a person he hated passionately. That's true. While campaigning for him, and that's just one example. This is a man who attaches fully to people and ideas when they are useful and pivots completely when the relationship stops serving him. Think of Fox News. How many millions of dollars did he make out of Fox News? And he turns around and trashes them. You might not like Fox News. Maybe they did him wrong. I don't know. I don't know the story behind it. But you don't trash, your former employee. And he did that with both CNN and MSNBC. Continuing on. Or when he feels rejected. Poor guy. Watch the people Tucker has loved loudly and then abandoned. He doesn't change his mind. He changes allegiances. Exactly. And he always has a principled reason when he does. Tucker's greatest need has always been relevance. When a relationship stops making him one of the most important people in the room, I add that, he finds a new one and then goes on the attack. That is true. 100%. Tucker has done that to everybody. Pete Santilli on X does a great job of going through his history. You remember that he was pushing the WMD. You remember that he was pushing this Iraq war. I wanted the Iraq war. I wanted to just get rid of Osama bin Laden Saddam Hussein and his sons, because his sons were insane. His sons would take people. They would take brides and rape them on their wedding night, and then they would take the husband and crush him in a big plastic crusher, like a shredding machine. He would do that to his own people. These people were not freaking sane. Nobody in the Middle East is sane. But Tucker, who is Tucker who is his allegiance now? Muslims. Sharia law. Tucker wants to live under Sharia law. He doesn't want to fix the cities that the Democrats have turned into shitholes. He doesn't want to, he doesn't want to fix that. Instead, he wants to live under Sharia law. Because you know why? Tucker's Lamborghini will still be there. If he walks in and leaves the keys in his Lamborghini, they will still be there. You know why they'll still be there? Because you chop off the hands of people who steal stuff. That's why. And that is what Tucker wants. Tucker thinks Sharia law is bee's knees. It's the greatest thing on earth. I come over here and I can do anything I want. Nobody bothers me. Well, why don't you make America like that? I'm for strengthening our laws because the Democrats have sought to get rid of our laws. And instead of doing that, he wants Sharia law. So think of that allegiance now. All right, so this is Pete Santilli on X also. He does a great job at going through Tucker's life in a short in a long paragraph, but a short time. Here it is. It's time for everyone to start facing reality about Tucker Carlson. When he was with Fox, his entire massive production staff masked all of his weaknesses, and he's carried with him throughout his entire career. And this is really his career in a nutshell. 1, as the son, Tucker was a dope-smoking, partying belligerent who lived off his daddy's CIA income. He was a Deadhead Jerry Garcia fan who became a Grateful Dead concert goer, like a that just follows him around. When I was growing up, I always looked down on Deadheads. Okay, we'll move on to that. Number 2, Tucker used to be a Bill Kristol propaganda tool on CNN, right? Pushing the Iraq MDs. That's true, he did. Big time. He was an easy mark for the rhinos and was willing to perform with the same carefree, aimless intellectualism he used to skate through his adolescent years. That's pretty well put. Number 3, as he did with his dad and the rhino marionettes who were in control of his CNN media career, Tucker moved to the next grift at MSNBC. Do you remember when and he always had a bow tie. I'm going to tell you something. Rush Limbaugh nailed him when he called him Chatsworth Osborne Jr. Like Chatsworth Osborne Jr., he has no real soul. He looks like him, and they wear bow ties. And that he just take a look at. There's a comparison of him online. And it's true. As he did with his dad, Randall Marion, blah, blah, he went to MSNBC, and all of this was driven by people surrounding and manipulating his gullible and addictive personality. He does. You know, and I used to watch him. I used to take my 13-year-old and go, listen to this guy. This guy is spot on. And then Jewish space lasers. You know what I mean? As we see today, Tucker is frail, weak, a bag of bones who is collapsing absent the rhinos and Mockingbird media staffers. Okay, well, that's a personal opinion, but the rest of the stuff is true. If you remember, Tucker is the first one. He'll say, I was wrong about the WMDs and Iraq war, and I really apologize. Well, it's a little bit late. I don't apologize for the Iraq war. It was run terribly. George Bush should never have stopped warring. He should have continued bombing until there was nothing left to bomb. And then said he had enough, and then gone in and install somebody who was sane. That's what should have happened, but they didn't. They never do. They never solve the problem. They occupy the place for 20 years. Do we go in and just try to get rid of Osama bin Laden? No. We made sure little girls could go to school because that's what we do. And where's that plan right now? You think that all these little girls are going to school to be doctors in Afghanistan? No, none of that happened. But this is Tucker Carlson in a nutshell, and that's where he belongs. Is in a nutshell. He's nuts. He's gone completely. You know, he is. I'm gonna play that. He is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Hold on. All right, remember this laugh? Part of that laugh, a couple of those laughs, were him laughing at Charlie Kirk being murdered. That's great. Like that. Love that, Tucker. Okay, remember this little ditty we did the other day?
Well, hello, Supreme Gay Leader Khomeini.
Hold on.
Thank you for the warm introduction. And speaking,
Hold on, this is it.
So I have checked myself into a quaint little resort here in Saudi, Shady Sands Hookah Spa and Baba Ganoush Emporium outside Dumat al-Jandal, famous for the 1st century Omar ibn al-Khattab Mosque, and medieval Marid Castle and giant windmill project.
Woo.
We look at them round and round. While I'm, quote, resting, I have Jay Thomas to carry on in my place. Take it away, Jay.
Yeah, that's him. That is Tucker. That is Tucker now. I'm sorry. He's gone off the freaking deep end, and he's insane. And if you follow him, I listen to him I'm in awe. My jaw's on the floor. I'm like, what? What is he saying? So now he's saying that we have to do the 25th Amendment now, or get rid of Trump somehow. Trump's not running again. I hate to tell you this. He's done after this term. So I'm telling you. I am telling you. It is with sad and regret for listening to Tucker so long. No one laughs like that. Sorry. I'm sorry. Tucker's nuts. He's officially crazy. He really is. Sorry to inform you. You know, go and listen to. We'll do Candace Owens next. Oh my God. She's even crazier than Tucker. All these people, they're just grifters. They have grifted us long enough. All right. I hate to bring that news to you. We'll see you in a little while. Bye-bye.